Hey, 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 Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And welcome back to The Glow Up. The Glow Up, where we talk about God, life, overcoming, and wealth. I am Sky, the butterfly, and this is my beautiful co-host,
your girl QB.
QB in the place to be. And we want to welcome you to the conversation. So for those of you who are watching the live premiere on YouTube, and hopefully many of you are, we want to encourage you to join the live chat. You can comment below, and that way we can interact and engage with you. We want to hear from you.
Yes.
Leave a comment, share an opinion, ask a question, join the conversation.
And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe
Please.
right now.
Right now. All right, let's give you a second. Ready? Did you hit the button? All right. Subscribe. So in 2024, it is a new year, and we have an opportunity to change the narrative of our life. This year is a year we're going to change the narrative of our lives by embracing 3 simple words: standing on business. That's what we're doing this year. This year we are standing on business. Now that is the prompt professional side of it, standing on business. But at the end of the day, look, we standing on business, like for real. Like here in the A, standing on business. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about standing on business.
Standing on business means to stick into who you are, sticking to your morals, your principles, whatever you put out there, just standing up for the right thing, standing up for who you are, whatever decision you decide to make, stand on that. Whoever you are, your characteristics or wherever you may go in life, stand on that. And it also speaks to standing on business as far as entrepreneurship, relationships, friendships, just standing on business and being true to yourself, allowing yourself to be encouraged and simply just telling the truth about who you are and standing on that.
Yeah. I think because culture now, we hear something, especially with social media, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. It's like it takes one person to take something and it goes viral, right? So immediately I'm thinking about the whole episode with King Harris and T.I., right? And King is like really like bumping his gums, coming at his parents. And he like, I stand on business. I stand on business, right? And at the end of the day, for those of you who don't know, at the end of the day, like QB saying, it's when you get to a point where it's, I said what I said, and I mean what I said. And I stand on it. And, people felt some type of way about King and his approach. But I think it really ignited something in a lot of us to be like, hold up.
Absolutely.
I felt little man on that. He was wrong for disrespect than his parents.
Absolutely.
But I felt him on that. I felt him at the point where you just like, listen, at the end of the day, this is who I am. This is how I feel. And I stand on that. And I gotta respect somebody who really stands on business. Because there's nothing like, you ever had somebody talk about you? They said
all the time.
You heard what they said. They said. But when you approach them and when you confront them, it's like, nah, I ain't say that.
Right.
Nah, partner, like, stand on business. Like,
absolutely.
That's what you said. Yeah. Stand on business. Or it's like they got a certain energy when you're not around, a certain energy on social media. I feel myself getting a little too personal. But when you see them in person, it's not that. Story. It's a different energy.
Yeah.
But no, stand on that.
Yeah.
Because I respect
you more absolutely.
For standing there. All right, well, let's make this personal.
Yeah.
Sometimes we portray and we try to project this certain persona about ourselves. I'm professional. But when people encounter us in real life in our business, we always lead.
Man.
We, you know what I'm saying? We're not providing the service and the capacity that we said we would, but we're not standing on business for real. And people expect you to stand on it.
And even on the other side of entrepreneurship, like you said, standing on business and entrepreneurship, a lot of the times, and I could attest for myself, as you know, everyone know that I am a licensed cosmetologist, and standing on business for me means sticking to my rules, sticking to, the way that I go about
Your policies,
and all the other stuff, just sticking to those things. And if I mess that up and do it for one person, then I'm end up doing it for one person. It's confusing to the system. So it's like, instead of confusing the system, I need to stick to one system and stand on that business, because otherwise the business would be up and down.
Right.
You know?
For sure.
So
for sure. Now I think I had this thoughts, and it said my thoughts were this. Up until now, many of us have not experienced the manifestation of what we said, what we affirmed, what we believe God spoke to us and God gave us. We haven't seen a manifestation of those things, all the things that we named and claimed, that we reached up and grabbed.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of us have not experienced the manifestation of it because we were not and have not been standing on business. Had we stood on the laundry list of resolutions we made in January 2023.
Because my clothes still waiting to be folded.
Because I'm just saying. Because we start off good.
Yeah.
We stand on it.
Yeah.
For the first month of the year. We stand on it up until February, March. By July, we like, wait, what? What, Jim?
Because it's a trend.
Right.
Everybody is standing on business in the month of January.
Yeah. And I think also because it is a true hope and it is a true vision. But if you don't follow through, it no longer has any weight. It can't support itself.
Right.
The vision can't support itself.
Right.
The goal can't support itself. We have to implement things like discipline.
Yeah.
Having a plan. We have to implement those things to stand on it. The only way anything stands is if it's fortified. If it's not fortified, it bends, it falls, it toggles over, right? Topples over. It has to be fortified. So how do you fortify your goals? How do you fortify your faith? How do you fortify your dreams? How do you fortify your plan, your vision? How do you fortify it? You have to continue to plan and you have to discipline yourself.
Right.
You have to put things, people, places, and things in place, in proper place, and in order. You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like also remember the why. The why in which you have set this goal. Because the why for me always takes me back to, okay, I gotta do this. Even if I do bend a little bit, I'm on a fast. If I eat a piece of chicken or something like that out of the time frame, I don't continue to keep eating chicken, but I'll put that away and I'll continue to, do my fast. So it's not wavering. It's just, keep going. Even if you slip up, even if you mess up, just keep going. Consistency, discipline, and then even reward yourself when you are disciplined. That's, for me, that's important as well. Rewarding yourself even when or you feel as if you went off course. Reward yourself.
That's interesting. So do you feel like people need to be rewarded or celebrated to stand on business?
Absolutely not. I don't think that it's a need, but it can be something that keeps them going. But it's not necessarily needed. I guess that whole perspective thing, it all depends on who you are.
Yeah, because you definitely want to get to a point where when there is no celebration and there is no pat on the back and there is no you're doing a good job, here comes your point about encouraging yourself.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Rewarding yourself with just the encouragement. Just the fact that, okay, you didn't go to the gym 5 times, like you said you was a week, but you went once a week. You know, you didn't necessarily reach the target, but you're not still at go
Right.
either. And then, you know, giving yourself that grace to keep going. And then what also comes into play is the accountability piece.
Oh, absolutely.
And the honest piece. You gotta be real with yourself. That's standing on
Gotta
business.
be.
That's standing on business.
That's first and foremost. Being honest
real.
with yourself, being real with yourself. You can't be real to nobody else if you ain't real with yourself.
Right, for sure.
You have to be real with yourself, be honest.
Yeah. We were having this conversation, right? And we were talking about even with you guys know we're believers. So we were talking about, you know, our journey in church and just being believers in the kingdom, and how QB you were, and hopefully you feel comfortable with sharing. You were, right? I don't know. But you were sharing about how there was once a time where you were in church basically trying to project and portray what you thought or who you thought you should be.
Absolutely.
Even though you knew that's not who you really were. Can you talk a little bit
Absolutely. About that? So I used to go to church. I'm gonna get you from putting me on the spot. But anyway, you know, being in church, sometimes you feel as though you have to be a certain way. You have to dress a certain way. You have to act a certain way. You have to sit a certain way. You know, and it's like God didn't call you to be like other people, because if you was like other people, you would be them, right? God called you to be who you are, because whoever you are, he is working within, you know, he's working that thing within you. Your journey is different from everybody else's journey. So I used to sit in church and pretend to be everybody else. I wanted the power. I wanted to speak in tongues. Like I wanted the prayer. I wanted to be anointed. You know, like I wanted to be righteous, but I was living false. Meaning, like, I was going to church the night before. I don't know, God knows what I've done. Let's just be honest, standing on business. God knows what I've done. I drank the night before I went to church. I smoked the night before I went to church. And all these things, sitting in the pulpit wanting to be other people, or not other people per se, but wanting to have certain gifts that already are in the inside of me, but because I wasn't being honest with who I really was, God couldn't do nothing with that.
Yeah.
Because I had to be honest about who I am and what I wanted to do, bring it to God, seek the counsel of the Lord, change, and, you know, even before I change, let God deal with the inside of me.
Right.
But instead, I wasn't standing on business. I was standing on everything else.
And I think I do think that there are healthy moments in life, because, you know, we do have to protect our spirit, protect, you know, who we are. And I think sometimes, you know, there's a quote, and help me with it, because I'm about to jack this up, y'all. But it speaks to, like, if you want the part, you dress the part, right? I'm paraphrasing. So, you know, when you go outside, maybe you want a certain job, maybe you want to have a certain position that you don't have yet. You're not literally walking in that yet, but you getting up and you getting dressed like, I got a job to go to.
Yeah. You
getting up and you're positioning yourself, and, you know, you're dressing yourself to look the part. And I do think that there's a healthy part to that, to have goals and to, this is who I want to be. This is who I know I'm called to be. And I'm not there yet, but until I get there, I'm going to start walking it out.
Walk it out. Shout out to Bishop Murphy.
I'm going to start walking it out. And so standing on business and being honest and being truthful is about being honest with God and being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I don't have to let everybody else know all of my, you know, intricacies and dirty laundry and all of those things. And it's not me faking, it's me being wise.
Right.
Is me being wise.
Right.
But I think the healthy part of life is when you can share your story.
Absolutely.
And share your journey and say to people, listen, everything ain't always peaches and cream. with me. I might be on this podcast, you know, I might be pulling up to my own business, or, you know, I might be in church or wherever you are. And I may be, you know, in an elevated position, but I'm still human. I still bleed. I still cry. I still got bills to pay. Uncle Sam still knocks on my door. And because of that, there are times where I still struggle. And I think standing on business is saying, but God.
But God.
But God. Standing on business and being like, I'm not perfect. You know, I'm not perfect, but I'm striving for perfection. And as I strive for perfection, I might fall. I will fall. But I get back up. And that's standing on business. That's standing on business for sure. So, what are some things we can start doing in this year to make sure that at the end of this year, it's like, oh, I stood on that this year?
Disclaimer. I don't go to church like I used to, okay? Okay?
What you mean?
Because I'm new, okay? God renewed me.
What you mean you don't go to church like you... Oh, you're saying like... You're saying in terms of before...
Exactly.
What you used to do.
Right, because, you know, people take a clip and people, you know, circulate it. You know? Oh, yeah, she go to such and such and, you know, she do this, that, and the third. So, nah.
she be lit going to church.
No, I don't.
But guess what? But if you are lit,
go. To those people who are, still go. Still go, because it's not justification to sin, right? However, but God will take you. He will meet you where you are. So it is important that you stand out and you be who you are. It's very important to be honest with yourself, especially when you're going into the house of God. Don't be like me, but be honest with yourself and say, hey, this is who I am. Like, you know, God will meet you exactly where you are. And whatever he may do to clean you up, or whenever you decide to, you know, live a different life, then that's between you and God. That's nobody else's business. Yeah. Like you said.
And I'm glad you said it about when you stand on business when you mind your business.
Yeah. That's
you know
important.
what I'm saying?
That's
mind your business. Tend to your business, and you'll be able to stand on it. And, you know, God will work out all of the details. Hey, God does not expect us to fix us. Let's start there. He don't expect us to fix us, none of that. What he expects us to do is just submit to him. God, you do what you need to do in my life.
Show up.
And our yes to him is his yes to us. We heard this yesterday. It's his yes to us. So standing on business is being, again, honest with yourself and honest with God.
Absolutely.
And going to God, whether that's in your bedroom, whether that's in your car, whether you going to a place of worship, go to God. Go not to a man, not to a woman, not to a person, but going to God.
Seeking the counsel of the Lord.
Yeah, and just being like, God, I want to be all that you created me to be. I want to stand on that. So I would say this year, you know, I want to encourage you, stand on your convictions.
Yes.
Whatever your convictions are, stand on that. Stand on your faith. Because, man, I know I struggle at times wavering in my faith. Not in my faith in God being God, but my faith in God being God in my life. Because I feel like God gonna be God, and he gonna be God for you. But I waver in my faith at times. Is he going to show up and be God in my life? And a lot of that is not necessarily attached to a lack of trust in him, but it's because I make myself too big. When I make myself too big, it's not standing on business, because I'm nothing compared to God. That's the truth of my business. Nothing. So when I make myself bigger than I ought to, I think of myself more highly than I ought to, I see myself before I see God. And I start seeing my incapabilities. I start seeing my shortcomings. I start seeing my lack. And I don't see that he's going to supply all my needs, because all I can see is me. So standing on my faith this year, and I encourage you to do the same. What other things would you encourage people to stand on?
I definitely would say stand on the word. Stand on the word, because the word, like the Bible said, you know, God's words will not return back to him void. So whatever he says, he's going to do. Yeah. So the word, the Bible will definitely give you a guide to your life, and it will definitely help you to understand who you are and what your purpose is. So I say stand on business, stand on the word, and what was the other thing? Stand on faith.
Yeah.
Stand on faith. Stay true to who you are. I don't care who it is. Do not lie about who you are in this season. If you are who you are, and allow God to help you through this journey by standing on the word of God.
Yeah. And with that, what you're standing on is a promise.
Absolutely.
And a promise, like, people used to be like, word is bond, right?
Yeah.
But everybody can't say that because everybody don't stand on business. So your word don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if we was to really ask the bill collectors, the debt collectors, how good your word was, how good my word was, they'd be like, her word don't mean nothing. Because she told us she was going to pay us timely every month for that car. But she ain't standing on business.
You talking about me?
We rented her that property because she promised us she was going to pay us every month our rent. That's what the landlord is saying. But she not standing on business. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trusted her. We trusted him with our daughter. We trusted him with our daughter.
Yeah.
We gave him our daughter's hand in marriage because he promised that he was going to protect her. He promised that he was going to take care of her. But he ain't standing on business. So you standing on what your promise is to people, and then you stand on God's promise. Because this is what the scripture says, like in Numbers, that God's not a man that he shall lie. He's not.
Nope.
Name one thing that he said he was going to do that he didn't do. Name a time that he didn't come through. And so it's like you can stand on his promises are yay and amen. So you can stand on God's promise, but you can't stand on what you don't know.
Right.
You can't stand on what you don't know.
That part right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't stand on what you don't know. I've worked in corporate before, right? And the job gave me a benefit package. But there were some parts of the package that I never tapped into and never took advantage of because I never read the doggone policy. Let me just be real and be honest. Like, I never read the doggone policy. So I didn't know I could take out money out of this and use it for that. I didn't know any of those things. So there are times in our life, in our business, in our family, in our relationships, in our spiritual journeys, whatever it may be, that we're not tapping into and we're not seeing the manifestation of, promises because we don't know what's in the policy.
Right.
We don't know what's in it. We don't know what's in it for us. And, so you got to study to show yourself approved.
Absolutely.
You got to do more reading. Make it your business this year. I'm going to read more books. Not just the Bible. I'm gonna read.
There are a lot of encouraging and motivation.
I'm gonna read more books.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna increase my knowledge. I'm gonna expand my thinking, and whatever you're spiritual with, the Bible, the Quran, whatever you're spiritual. Not just that, but I'm gonna read more because there's more to life, and I want to expand my thinking so that I can then stand on something that's worth standing on. For sure, right?
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So we're standing on convictions, standing on faith. Standing on morals.
And something you said that was like very important. If you're not minding your business, you're minding somebody else's.
And how you standing on somebody else's business?
How you standing on my business? Ain't no room over here.
Get off my business.
Get off my business.
Get off my business.
And tend to your own business.
Stand on yours.
You feel me?
And you know what's funny? Going back to the T.I. King thing. Because T.I. said this to King. He said, boy, you ain't doing nothing with me. You can't do nothing with me. Like, that's how it be when you standing on your own business. Like, at the end of the day, you can't do nothing with me. When I'm really standing on business. Can't nothing stop me.
Nothing.
All the stuff you got to say about me, you can't do nothing with me.
Puff up your chest.
When I'm standing on business, when I'm standing on who God called me to be, when I'm walking authentically in my own truth, you can't do nothing with me. So if people doing something with you, if people are mishandling you, if you're not where you should be, you got to ask the question, is it because you really haven't been standing on business? You know, like I was saying, standing on morals. I have done a lot of things that were morally compromising, that were morally wrong. And as a result, I've found myself struggling. I would be lying to y'all, but more importantly, I would be lying to myself
Right.
to say the reason why I haven't gotten to point C, D, what is because haven't been standing on business. But the moment you make that switch and acknowledge it and make a commitment to yourself, this year we stand on business.
Yeah.
This year I stand on my convictions. This year I stand on who God says I am. This year I stand on morals. This year I stand on faith. This year I stand on discipline. It's gonna be a lot. Y'all ain't gonna be. I'm telling y'all. Mark these words. Mark these words. 2024. By the end of this year, y'all gonna see a glow up for real.
Yeah, for real.
For real. Because I have to keep myself in check to stand on business, to do what I said I was gonna do, and to not do what I said I wasn't gonna do. Not go back to things I said I wasn't gonna go back.
Don't go back
to things if I said I'm gonna quit this habit, I gotta stand on it. I gotta stand on that, and I gotta keep working on it until my legs are strong enough to stand.
Yeah.
I gotta keep working on it until my legs are strong enough to stand.
Might be wobbling a little bit.
And now herein lies. There are some people are in the natural sense and like at the bare bones of it. There are some people who cannot stand on their own.
Yeah.
There are some people who need assistance to stand, be it a crutch, a cane, a walker, whatever you have to put in place in life. Stand so you can stand. Do it.
Absolutely.
Do it. And here comes the honesty piece again, and being like, I can't do this on my own. I need help. I need an accountability partner.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I need a counselor. I need a therapist. So that I can start standing, because my leg's too wobbly right now. I don't want to leave her alone. I don't want to leave him alone. You know, I need some help.
Yeah.
I need some help so I can stand on business.
That's good.
I was also thinking about these 3 boys from the hood. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Right? And in Daniel, we meet these 3 boys who definitely stood on business. And they were confronted with a society and a culture that was trying to encourage them to turn away from God. That was trying to tell them, listen, you don't follow that anymore. That's a ancient belief. That's an ancient belief system that doesn't apply to your life now. Follow me. We got a whole golden statue. Bow down to the statue. And these 3 boys stood on their conviction. They stood on their conviction. And what really blessed me was when they said this, and I have it here. And this was in in Daniel chapter 3. They said, if we are thrown, so this is what happens. The king says, culture said, society told them, if you don't follow after our trend, if you don't do things the way we say, if you don't accept what we say is now standard, then we're going to throw you into a burning furnace. We're going to make your life a living hell. I think that's so relevant to life now. Because culture and society tries to put us in a bubble, make us conform. Yeah. And it's like, you can't say this. You can't say you disagree with this. You can't. You got to watch what you say. You got to be politically correct.
It's like putting God in a box.
Yeah, and it's just like, and if you don't conform, we want to make your life a living hell, right? So in the scripture, that's what the king told them. We're going to throw you into a burning furnace if you don't conform. And so they say, if we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you that we will never serve your God. or worship the gold statue you have set up. If that's not standing on business,
it is.
We want to make it clear, no matter what you say, it's what people did during the civil rights movement, right? It's what our forefathers did, our ancestors did. They said, listen, we want to make it clear. We are not 3/4, 3/5. What did they say? We're 3/5 human beings as black people, something to that nature. No, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the righteousness of God.
Yeah.
I come from bloodlines of kings and queens. I'm not going to let society tell me anything different. I'm going to stand on who God says that I am. And I'm going to believe that he's going to rescue me. And if he doesn't, even if he doesn't, I stand on that too. I stand on that
still,
too.
Yeah.
I stand on that too. So the word of God is filled with experiences and examples of people who stood on business, and because of their stand, they we've heard, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Right? And because of their stand, they saw the manifestation of God's promise in their life.
Yes.
Because of their stand.
Literally.
The story ended with them being thrown in the furnace. They got thrown. They went through hell. But God stepped in it with them.
Right.
And they survived. They lived through it. You're going to live through 2024. You were going to live. And I speak. I was going to say another word. But I speak. I was about to say prophesy. But I speak that this is going to be the best year of your life thus far. If, because there's a contingency, if you decide to stand on the good business that God has given you.
Absolutely.
To stand on. If you stand on business, if you make your word, your yay be yay and your nay be nay, if you become disciplined in every area of your life, you're going to see a huge change. And ain't nobody gonna be able to. Nobody gonna be able to.
Nobody. Because even when they threw them in the fire, they didn't feel the fire.
Yeah,
they didn't feel the heat. Their bodies didn't burn of the fire that they were in, because God was standing with them. Jesus was literally standing with them in the furnace. Therefore, whatever hell that people are trying to put you in, you're not going to feel it, especially when you're standing on your business.
Yeah. So
it's the end of the conversation. Standing on business. We encourage you. We motivate you to stand on business. Stay true to who you are. Stay true to your word. Set your goals. Set your boundaries. And stand on that.
Yeah. Revisit. Go back, because you need to go back to 2023 and 2022 and the things that God laid on your heart for you to do in those years that you lost your way along the way. Because there's some things I need to go back to. There's some things that I need to go back to and be like, well, you know what? Try again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try again, and this time is gonna be different. Yeah. I'm getting ready to see something I've never seen. I'm getting ready to see something I've never seen.
The glow up.
It's a glow up
getting
for
ready
real.
To see.
For real. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
We are so glad that you took the time out to join the conversation. And we thank you for participating in this live chat with us. And we look forward to seeing y'all again. Same place, same time, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend that they might as well go up to. Don't be selfish and leave people behind. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Share this video.
Share. Tell your friends, stand on business, and sign up and subscribe with the Glow Up. I'm your girl, Sky the Butterfly.
It's your girl, QB.
And we'll see y'all next time.
Later.
Bye. Peace.